welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar returns to the People's Democratic Party 4 years after leaving the party. Says the APC can no longer meet the aspirations of Nigerians. President Buhari expresses condolences to families of victims of the bomb attack in Biu, which left at least 13 people dead. The federal government assures residents of the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country of adequate security measures to guarantee their safety. And U.S. President Donald Trump lashes out at the FBI as he uses fresh denial over the role of one of his aides, Michael Flynn, in the Russia probe. We begin tonight with politics. It's now official. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has moved back to the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Mr. Abubakar, in a Facebook Live broadcast, announced his return to the PDP after 4 years. In the broadcast, the former Vice President says the reasons he left the PDP have been resolved, and that's why he is returning. Abubakar said he left the APC because he no longer felt at home and does not believe the party could meet the aspirations of Nigerians, especially youths who are jobless. In a Facebook Live broadcast, which he titled, "It's Time to Take a Stand in Nigeria's Interests," which is about 10 minutes long, the former vice president did not disclose whether he will be contesting in the 2019 presidential elections. But already there are talks of him squaring up against the incumbent president should he decide to run.
Some of you may know that I was elected vice president under the banner of the PDP, which is the political party I had helped to found some 10 years before. And some of you may also know that I left the PDP 4 years ago when I believe it was no longer aligned to the principles of equity, democracy, and social justice upon which we had founded it. I joined the APC as I had hoped it would be the new force that would help improve life for our people. And I was excited about the party's manifesto to create 3 million new jobs a year. The result has not been the change people had been promised or voted for. As in the last 2 years, almost 3 million Nigerians have lost their jobs. And today, with a record 25% of people aged between 18 and 25 years unemployed, I can see how difficult it is for our youths to find a job. The key to creating jobs is a strong economy, and that is what we are currently lacking. So today, I want to let you know that I am returning home to the PDP, as the issues that led me to leave it have now been resolved. And it is clear that the APC has let the Nigerian people, and especially our young people, down.
The announcement of the former vice president to rejoin the PDP is generating more reactions. The personal assistant to the president on social media, Loretta Onochie, and lawyer G.T. Ogunye have expressed their views on the former vice president's defection and the war of words between him and the presidency. While Mrs. Onochie does not believe the former vice president's move is strong enough to cause worry for the president, Mr. Ogunye says Nigeria deserves better than the options the country is presented with. They were both guests on Channel Television's flagship political program, Sunday Politics.
There's nothing that is further than the truth than what the former vice president, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has said. Nigeria was on its knees when this present government came into place. And it was the same PDP that he has now returned to that has kept Nigeria on its knees for a period of 16 years. Problems were created over a period of 16 to 17 years, and no one would expect that all these issues will be sorted out in under 3 years. It's not done anywhere. So far, so good. But we know that a lot needs to be done, and this government is doing more.
There is no sane person that can be satisfied with everything that has been going on in the country since 1999, even up to now. Nigeria, we need a new deal. So all the names that are coming up, they are the same old people.
Where would you find a new deal from?
Are we so doomed that there are no new people in Nigeria that can move us in the new direction? Are we so jinxed? Is this our lot? Look, generally in this climate, politicians hunt for power. And that power is usually not used for service. We've seen all these, and I'm not saying this in particular reference to Atiku Abubakar. No, I'm not going to take anything away from him. But I'm just saying generally, that's what we see. And I think that the narrative has to change.
Away from politics, staying with politics, but away from the presidency, the Akwa Ibom State Independent Electoral Commission, AKISIEC, has invited the chairman and councillors-elect who won the Akwa Ibom local government elections held on Saturday, December 2nd, to receive their certificates of return in Uyo, the state capital, on Monday, December 4th. On collation of results, authorized returning officers had announced that all 31 local government areas and 329 wards were won by the People's Democratic Party in a landslide victory for the ruling party in the state. In a letter signed by the Electoral Commissioner, Legal Matters and Public Affairs, Faith Umo, for the chairman of the commission, dated today, AKISIEC indicated that the new chairmen and councillors would receive their certificates of return at the commission's headquarters. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress has rejected the result announced by the Akwa Ibom State Independent Electoral Commission. In a press release signed by the state chairman of the APC, Ahmadu Atai, and other officials, the APC accused AKISIEC of lack of independence, alleging that the results were spurious. The APC further concluded that they completely reject the results as announced by AKISIEC. President Muhammadu Buhari expressed condolences to families of those who lost their loved ones in Saturday's bomb attacks on Biu. The attack left at least 13 people dead, with 53 others injured after 2 female suicide bombers detonated explosives at a village in Biu local government area in Borno State. The president, who is currently in Jordan, where he's attending the counterterrorism summit, took to his Twitter account this evening to express his condolences. His message reads, "My condolences to the families of the victims of the bomb attacks in Biu yesterday. I'm confident that the Intelligence Fusion Center we're setting up in Maiduguri will help us stay ahead of Boko Haram's desperate attacks on soft targets. May the souls of the dead rest in peace." At the counterterrorism summit, the president is soliciting greater support for preemptive measures that will neutralize the activities of insurgents across West Africa. Security of lives and properties in the Federal Capital Territory and indeed other parts of the country remains top priority for the federal government, according to the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. The assurance is coming as some Western countries issue travel advisories to their citizens, especially about the FCT. The minister, however, says security agencies have not let down their guard, despite the fact that there have been no terror attacks in the FCT since the Buhari administration assumed office. According to him, we know that the terrorists who have been massively degraded and put on the run have been looking for sub-targets to attack. This is the nature of terrorism all over the world, as can be seen in recent attacks in the UK, France and Egypt, among others. That is why the Nigerian security agencies have continued to be on the alert, even if their efforts have been largely obtrusive, so as not to disrupt the daily activities of the citizenry. Such efforts are routinely stepped up during religious festivals. Alhaji Mohammed said the federal government sensitization campaign on security, with the punchline, "If you see something, say something," would be stepped up on national radio and television, and he advised citizens to be security conscious and to report suspicious people and objects to the security agencies. We're in Katsina State now, where the government has reaffirmed its commitment to revitalizing dormant industries in the state. The governor, Aminu Masari, said this at the handing over ceremony of 2 processing companies to foreign investors in Katsina.
This is what the interior of the Katsina neem processing factory looks like. Dusty equipment revealing that production stopped a long while ago. In a bid to revive the moribund industry, Governor Aminu Masari is visiting in the company of government officials and international investors.
What we are doing is in continuation with the promise we made that all these moribund industries, some that were started in the 70s late, some that started after, will make sure that they provide employment and economic opportunities to the people of Katsina State.
As part of plans to ensure that the kaolin and the neem processing factories become functional, the state government and the foreign investor puts pen to paper. For the Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, the provision of gainful employment to the youth is the overall benefit.
In addition, there will be unlimited indirect employment of middlemen and professionals and multiplier effects for the economy of the state in general.
As these 2 private companies go into private hands, the joint partnership comes at a cost of over $1.8 billion.
As part of efforts to boost the livestock sector of the economy and curb the menace of cattle rustling in the country, a telecommunications company mobile provider in Nigeria, MTN, has launched Animal Identification and Management Solution in Katsina State. At the launch ceremony in Runka Grazing Reserve of Safana local government area of Katsina State, the management of MTN explains that the technology will go a long way towards addressing the existing gap emanating from the activities of cattle rustling in the country.
As they converge on this venue, their mission here is to find a lasting solution to the challenge of cattle rustling in the country.
We're looking at a place where cattle rustling will be reduced. We're looking at instances where when there is diseases, it can be quickly identified and can be caught. We're looking at a situation where people will be able to export their cattle, the beef that comes from it.
Also at the launch, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Public Affairs, Peace and Security, Alima Ahmed, represented by Dr. Abdul Malik Ahmad, believes that the Animal Identification and Management Solution will strengthen policy on pastoralism and livestock production.
I believe that the Animal Identification and Management Solutions provides us with an opportunity to strengthen our national and regional policies or solutions to the issue of pastoralism and livestock production.
In the meantime, this new technology is already winning the interest of policymakers, as Governor Bello Masari of Katsina State immediately declared his administration's commitment.
The state government has already granted approval for the registration of 6,800 as at 200 per local government area at a stipulated amount of 2,000 naira only.
On the part of the cattle breeders, the National Secretary of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria urges the federal government, especially the Minister of Agriculture, to do more in addressing the challenges of cattle rustling in the country.
We have been working with the ministry for the first 3 years now, but all we have achieved now is just making noise without the commensurate action to back up the noise.
Katsina State is one of the northwestern states beaten hard by the activities of cattle rustling, which has taken its toll on agricultural activities and the peaceful coexistence of affected communities. But this new technology is expected to boost revenue generation and promote peaceful coexistence in the society.
In part 2, after the break, the Socio-Economic and Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, asked President Muhammadu Buhari to refer allegations of corruption in the privatization of public enterprises to the EFCC and the ICPC. Just stay with us.